Records show that Carl Pei bought a closed company back in 2020. That company was called Essential. They produced the PH1 and almost released these super tall smartphones codenamed Project Gem. But Essential had ceased operating by then, so why spend money on a brand that doesn't exist anymore? Let's chat to Carl.
So how come we bought a brand that had basically closed down?
Oh, you have this? Can I have a look?
All right, it seems like Carl just ignored my question. Whatever. He's the boss. We'll get to the bottom of why he bought Essential right after this.
Go for it.
It's different. I don't know how practical it is.
It's just like a postage stamp.
It's like 10% of the screen.
Yeah, aspect ratio is like 4:1 or something crazy.
How does text messaging work or emails work?
I can't wait for you to see the keyboard actually. Let's compose a new message.
Really?
Now that we've entertained Carl with the Gem phone, let's get back to the point of the video.
When I look at the brand book, some of the earlier ones, and when I'm looking through the Google Drive as well, there's a whole bunch of early product renders that have the word Essential written on them. Were we going to be called Essential at one point?
Yeah.
We were?
Yeah, for a few weeks. So then we changed our mind.
How did that happen?
We just had like endless loops of discussions and then I just made the call.
Wait, so did we buy Essential just for the name? Please tell me there was something more to this.
Oh, it's mainly the name. We really like this word. It's so simple, it's so elegant, it means so much. So that was the only thing that we actually bought. The trademarks, social media handles, the web domain, essential.com. Even the web domain is going to be pretty valuable in the future, right? It's such a good word and .com domains are running out. I think when we started the company, we just had a step-by-step process of all the things we needed to do, and figuring out the brand name was one of them. So when we got to that point, we acquired Essential, but then after doing it, we were like, this is somebody else's name in the same category of products. So we don't want to confuse the market that this is a revival because we're about to do something very different. A brand name is a decision that's very hard to change. And also like we're building our own legacy, so let's rethink. And we then thought about it and we couldn't come up with anything. So then it became nothing.
Were there any other names that were kind of thrown around?
Yeah, I really liked the name Stone.
Okay. What about it?
Short. Looks cool. The brand name, it's important, but it's also not that important. It's all about the products you deliver and the brand you create. Apple is a super strange name if you think about it. It's like a fruit. It's like, hey, I'm gonna start banana. Now it sounds weird, but if it one day becomes a really successful company, then everybody's gonna be like, yeah, banana, that's such a genius name. How did you come up with it? But I think it doesn't actually matter that much.
So the name doesn't matter as long as you deliver great products. I'm not in the product team, but I feel like Gem could have been a great product. Let's dig a little bit deeper and see if there's any chance of nothing making a device like this.
Some people speculated that through this acquisition, you got access to things like patents from Essential. Is that not true?
We got access to trademarks. It's not patents, but actually as a young startup making phones, there's not a lot of valuable patent creation. Like in terms of like real technology, especially if the company hasn't been around for a long time. So that was never anything that we looked at.
We're not going to be making this.
We don't need any patents to make this. We can make it tomorrow if we want to.
And that's good to hear, because I thought you were crushing my dreams that we were never going to...
Just because we can doesn't mean we will.
Okay, so now my dreams are crushed. Thanks, Carl. But at what cost? No, seriously, how much would a device as unique as this cost to produce? Every screw, every chip, every hour spent on development is money you can never get back. In your head, a product might look like a masterpiece, but on the market, it could be a total flopper.
What's really custom is the screen, right? So if you want to do this, you have to get the screen factory to create a custom cut for you. So you probably have to pay $5 to $10 million just for the work, not the screen itself. It'll be like $250, $300 bomb price.
So on the topic of people always asking us to make smaller phones, do you think something like this, had it gone to market, would have sold well?
It would have gotten a lot of buzz in the beginning, but it probably wouldn't have sold well because people want a good screen, good battery, good camera. Those are non-negotiables. And then you can do like cool stuff on top of that. But if you don't have that correct, I think it's very hard to get to any volume.
So how can you guarantee your products will sell at volume? And how can you convince your investors that your company will be successful?
You're an get the out of here. Oh!
Maybe Carl knows something we don't.
Let's reflect back a little bit then, because at one point, Essential was valued over $1 billion. It was a unicorn. They had investment from people like Amazon, and it's written online that they spent over 100 million USD on product development. So for you, when you were starting your new venture, was that not a little bit scary? Like this company didn't make it past its first smartphone.
We had to endure a lot of hardships because of past startups in the same industry. We got rejected by all the suppliers because they're like, hey, we've seen this story before, go somewhere else.
But it's not just suppliers though, it's also when you were looking for investment. How did you convince investors that the story with nothing was going to be different?
I have no idea. I wouldn't invest in myself. In In the beginning, having done it once before makes the pill a lot easier to swallow. Like, okay, you've probably made a lot of mistakes and learned from those mistakes in the past, so therefore the risk is not as high this time around. We were all from this industry and we knew kind of under the hood how a business like this runs. It's not only about having a good design, being able to ship a product, but it's also about the engineering behind the product. It's about the manufacturing. It's about the quality control, the supply chain, the customer service, the sales and marketing. 10 to 20 things you have to master to have a business like this. And we felt like we were relatively good here. Based on the past experience.
We can clearly see that starting a new company is hard. When building nothing, Carl was carrying the weight of expectation from investors, team members, and the public too. And that led to a lot of pressure. And not just mental pressure, physically too.
I had an issue with my heart in the beginning because I was so stressed about doing a startup. Every like 10 or 15 seconds, my heart will beat like super hard. Dum, 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 dum. Like for weeks. And then they couldn't find a problem. They just said that you're probably stressed.
What would you say was the kind of biggest source of stress when starting a company?
I think I took it a bit too seriously. Or somebody invested money. Oh my God, this person could have invested this money in Apple stocks or somewhere else. And if we're not able to deliver higher return, then we've really let this person down. That just stressed me out a lot, but it was just imagined stress.
It sounds like failure was never really an option.
Yeah, the first stage is surviving. That was really top of mind, but there's been a lot of worry about not being able to survive as well. But I think for each year, it gets a bit better.
With Carl now deep in reflection on the early days of nothing, let's see if we can squeeze one more detail out of him about the Essential acquisition.
Would you mind if I asked how much we paid?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
You would mind.
Oh, we signed an NDA. So we would be in breach of the NDA.
I mean, it's a safe space, Carl.
This is gonna go on YouTube.
We can blur it. Look, we've got editors.
He doesn't trust that we'd censor the price, and he's right to do so, because we definitely tell you. So to answer the question, why did nothing spend? Simple. It's for a 9-letter word. You're welcome.